Hey guys, and a very warm welcome to Friday Fretworks. This week's going to be something a little bit different in that it's going to be pretty much exclusively talking, so apologies for anyone tuning in expecting to see me play guitar. I shall save that for next week. But I recently received a question on Facebook that I thought was interesting enough to try and answer a little bit more length than I would be able to in a written response. Also because it's something that I've not thought about in a very long time, to be honest, and that is how I handle criticism, or negativity specifically. Again, specifically in relation to kind of online comments. Such is the nature of the World Wide Web, that if I upload a video of myself, or even if someone uploads a video of me that they've taken at a gig or whatever, it's pretty much out there for all to kind of judge, I guess, and for all to comment on. The way social media is structured, pretty much everyone has a voice. Everyone now has a platform to let you know exactly what they think, whether that's kind of, negative, positive, or whatever. It's kind of there, and it's their prerogative to comment as they see fit. I guess I was, in hindsight, I was pretty lucky that I received a grounding, shall we say, in online negativity pretty early on, in that I started uploading videos to myself to YouTube when I was about 15. I don't know why I did it, to be honest. I think it was just, I was learning to play guitar, I kind of felt I was progressing, and kind of wanted to put it up there really for public consumption and to see what people made of my playing. It was as innocent as that, really. But inevitably, such is the way with YouTube, even more so back then when it was a lot more anonymous than it is now in terms of your profile and how much information was viewable and how you were not really at all linked to your account. It wasn't specific to your name or any of that kind of stuff. You would get comments, inevitably. Some would be positive and inevitably some would be negative, and then you would have kind of, such as the political spectrum, I guess, you would have off to the far right a very kind of scathing, negative, often aggressive comments, just out of nowhere, It's just videos I was putting out of me playing along with my favourite bands, whether that was Bowie, Clapton, Guns N' Roses, Deep Purple, whatever. And as far as I can concerned, to be honest, nothing to elicit such a response as some of the comments that I used to get. Like I said, I was 15. Some of these aggressive, kind of threatening comments, I didn't even know what they meant. I had to Google them to find out what they were in relation to. And, I was very young at the time, really. And luckily, I guess, of a mentality and of a temperament to rationalise it a little bit and understand that this isn't reflective of people as a whole, and these are a very kind of small minority of people who, for whatever reason, are incredibly angry, and that's their way they vent their opinions, and their kind of frustration is through YouTube. Happened again, I guess, on a much larger scale to me when Alan Niven, my current manager, made a comment in a magazine in relation to how I was the best guitar player that he'd worked with since Slash. A comment I've no doubt, Alan, cheers, was meant to inflame and kind of, get people talking, as it did, even more so on a Yahoo Music article, which actually misquoted him and called me a better guitar player than Slash, or something along those lines. It was kind of like a classic misquote. Which, Yahoo being the way it was, had a comment section, and the link to the video that they put was a video, I think it was the first video that I'd ever uploaded, which was a video of, unfortunately, me playing a Guns N' Roses cover. So this video of a 15-year-old kid in his bedroom playing a song that Slash has written and being apparently called better than Slash. So you can see where it went, and you can see how the comments were kind of came in. And it was just droves and pages and pages and pages of negativity, scathing, again, kind of, threatening, all this kind of stuff, the inevitable, my kid can play better than that, all these kind of stuff. And again, I guess it's based in jealousy, but in that particular article, it was just based in bad journalism, to be honest. And I think the guy probably knew what he was doing and just did it to kind of, it's clickbait, isn't it? At the end of the day, clickbait is not new. It's been around, pretty much since the start of the web. People want traffic, and people want people to click on their website. And if a headline can drag you in and kind of instantly elicit a response, positive, negative, or whatever, then you're going to be more likely to open that article. So I've kind of experienced this on a lot of levels, I guess, from a very early stage, which in hindsight, I guess I'm lucky for, in that it's given me a pretty good grounding in terms of how to deal with it. Happened again more recently with Total Guitar magazine, which in a poll they published, I came out on top as the best new guitar player of 2017. Incidentally, I've not really thanked anyone. If you voted for me in that, thank you very, very much. Incredibly flattering to even be kind of nominated, never mind actually win it. But again, as soon as you start assigning numbers to people and kind of where they should be ranked, people get very touchy, understandably, because it's such a personal thing, who someone's favourite guitar player is, that you can't really categorically assign a number to it, because it's just going to inflame opinion. Again, I can name 20 guitar players off the top of my head that would categorically run circles around me should we get out a guitar and jam now. Joey Landreth, Josh Smith, Ariel Posen, Peter Honore, all these incredible players that I'm a massive fan of, that should, in my eyes, be above me on this list. But for whatever reason, I was in the right place at the right time with this particular list, as I will undoubtedly, if not more times, be in the wrong place at the wrong time and not even get looking at things that I maybe should be, kind of not entitled to, but, kind of worthy of, I guess. So it's just situations, and it's the way things unfold. Inevitably, when you publish a list like that with someone having come out on top, it's going to divide opinion, it's going to polarize, it's going to be positive comments of, oh yeah, I've seen him playing with so-and-so, I loved it, or don't get it, really don't think he's a great guitar player, whatever. And then the comments between the negative ones are divided again between reasonable, no, it's not my cup of tea, or why is this guy here? He's atrocious, he's the worst guitar player I've ever seen, this is a joke, this magazine's a joke, and anything, it's a sliding scale then down to a barrage of abuse, and again, threats, it's bizarre how it all kind of unfolds. So I guess, to answer the question, how I deal with it, I don't really kind of pay too much attention to it. This is something that, again, Alan, my manager, has instilled in me from a very early point, to not pay too much attention to your press, whether that's press, official quote-unquote press, magazines, websites, all that kind of stuff, or whether it's press in regard to comments that you get when you put videos of yourself up. Don't pay too much attention to them, flat out, whether it's good, whether it's bad. And that's not to say I don't read comments people leave, I do, but I don't let it kind of penetrate the way that it used to. Just because your life would be a yo-yo of emotions dictated entirely by the last comment that flashes up on your phone. And that is no way to live your life, ultimately. Whether someone that you have never met and never likely will meet liked the video of yours or didn't and chose to let you know, you can't live your life by that. That's not any kind of... There's no happy equilibrium. You're not going to be at an even keel. You're going to be a yo-yo of emotions dictated entirely by YouTube comments. And as I said, YouTube and Twitter especially are notorious for it because there's still that level of anonymity. Anna has recently launched a campaign called Don't Be a Dick, which I think probably adequately kind of describes how I would kind of feel about YouTube, in that you're not tied to your account too much. And if you want to remain anonymous, you can. If you want to kind of keep your profile clean of any information about you personally, it's entirely possible to do so. And people kind of feel like that's carte blanche then, to go and be as aggressive or as threatening or however they kind of want to act in relation to things, whether that's sexist, whether it's racist, whether it's whatever, or just aggressive and unpleasant. It's the way people kind of choose to conduct themselves on YouTube is vastly different to, say, Instagram or, say, Facebook, especially where you're tied to your public information, whatever you've chosen to make available, whether it's your employer, whether it's your family, whether it's your location, whatever, you're very much tied to that information. YouTube, not so much, and you tend to get an entirely different level of kind of comments. But as I said, I've learned not to kind of really take too much notice of it, to be honest. I read the comments, I read the negative ones, I read the good ones, and I will respond to some. I generally don't respond to negative comments unless it's a constructive one. If it's something that... Take, for example, last week's Friday Fretworks video. I uploaded a Tellys versus Strats video, the very subject of which was a little bit of clickbait on my behalf, in that I knew it would kind of elicit a kind of response of people wanting to look at the videos. So my bad in that one. But there was a drone that I used, a sustain pedal, which had a kind of note running under the kind of solo that I was doing. And that kind of tended to divide opinion. People either liked it or really didn't like it and kind of chose to let me know. The comments of the negative variety were pretty varied in their kind of, in their eloquence, shall we say, and some were fairly reasoned and just kind of let me know that it wasn't something that they enjoyed, through the usual aggressive, kind of, I won't paraphrase any of them or even phrase them, just, blindly aggressive comments that kind of really belied the content of the video. It's a free video that someone else has chosen to upload. You're not having to pay for it. It's not paid for content. It's just something that you've chosen to look at on YouTube. And it's a bizarre way to react then, in my book, to kind of have such a passionate, knee-jerk negative comment to it. It's just a bit of a bizarre one. But that's, a good recent example of how kind of things can divide opinion. So, to go back to the question, I don't really pay too much attention, to be honest, and that's how I keep an even keel. That's how I kind of go on making videos, and obviously, inevitably, you're going to pay attention to what people write, but just don't let it dictate your life, I guess, ultimately. Know that people will either love what you do or hate what you do, and you can't really control that. The best you can do is do stuff to the best of your ability, and as long as you're happy with something that you've uploaded, or you're happy with something that you've chosen to put out into the ether for everyone to kind of, have an opinion on, that's the main thing. As long as you're happy with it, keep focused and kind of keep zen on that. Don't let outside opinions influence you too much. So there we go. I hope something was of some interest in there. It's kind of experience that I've gathered, I guess, in the past couple of years, and it may not be of interest to you. Some people here may be in a similar situation to me, where they upload videos themselves and make themselves kind of available for public opinion, or people have not got to that stage or never will get to that stage, and both are absolutely cool. It's quite an odd thing to do, I guess, to put yourself out there for judgment. It's quite an alien concept to a lot of people. So just thought if any of the kind of thoughts are of interest or of use to anyone, they might get something from it. So, as ever, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, please share, like, comment, all that kind of good YouTube stuff, and I shall see you next week for another episode of Friday Fretworks. Cheers, guys, take care.